is the book that made me question everything I knew about money. Honey, why are we poor? From how to make money, manage money, save money, down to how to even know your money personality, this book taught me. I know you must have seen so many books about how to make money and have watched countless videos about how to, become rich. I've also done the same, or I've even done more. And I can tell you for free, none of the books I've read comes close to what you can learn from reading this book. Very easy for readers to read, from a simple text font to spacing down to the total packaging of the book, which is very important for me as a reader.
It even gives you money workouts to do. Like after every chapter, you get a money workout, and this helps you to question yourself and know where you currently are, based on the chapter and what it is talking about.
And this book alone I've read countless times because of how easy it is for me to read it. So I will urge you to go and read the full book yourself after watching this video. So in this video I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite points in this book that entirely changed how I view money and how I can make money my servant rather than allowing it be a master over me. So if you're interested in learning how to take advantage of your abilities to make money and get out of the rat race, then keep watching this video. So for the very first point I could take out of this book, treat money like a servant ready to do your bidding. So in the first chapter of this book, Steve Harris likened money to two things. One as a servant and the second one as a woman who should be treated with respect. This one I love so much. But first, as a servant, he said money should be treated as a servant because just as in the Bible, money answers all things. Ecclesiastes 10:19. And for money to answer all things, first it has to be submissive to you. Therefore, we can say it is a servant. For example, imagine your monthly salary, which comes at a particular time of the month. You find that if you don't have a laid down plan for this money, you end up spending it however you like because you did not prepare a budget ready for you to do your bidding. So you basically make money your servant by making it take on your planned activities. But let's say on the other hand, your salary comes, then you start spending it without having like a laid down plan for it. This money turns on you making money your master, and then you start spending on things that are not very necessary at that particular moment. So since money has no leadership capacity, we now find ourselves spend money on things that just gives us instant gratification. Then when your eyes are clear, you realize that all your money is gone. Like, where did my money go to? But if you had a budget, you are most likely to take care of the important things first before you start spending on things you want. Secondly, he likened money to a woman, in the sense that if a woman sees you have a vision as a man and a strategic plan for your future, even though she's not where she wants her partner to be, she's not satisfied with the condition, she's more likely to stay with you because you show her love and respect. But reverse the case, if you treat the same woman with disrespect, no matter how bright your future may be, she will dump you. This is the same thing with money. If you treat money with respect and have a plan for it, it will do your bidding. Let me end this by telling you my favorite quote from this book. When you don't have a plan for money, money will plan for you. This is very true. We must have seen it in several cases. For myself, I have a budget of how I've spent the last year's salary from the full year. I have it written down, I have it on my notes, and it's very important that you have a budget down before you can start spending your salary, because it is very easy for you to go off track. You now find things that will just grant you instant gratification because you did not have a plan laid down for this money. So making money your master at the end of the day. So if you don't want money to be your master, it's better you have a laid down plan of how you are planning to spend your monthly salary, and when you put everything in place, then you can start spending on the things you want, not necessarily the things you need, because you have already taken care of the things you need before you now start using the remaining for the things you might want. The book was not just basically teaching you this. He used like a real life story to depict these lessons you can learn from the book. And one of the characters in the book is a lady called Tolu, a former colleague of like one of the main characters of the book, and they had not seen for the last 3 years, only for them to bump into each other in a shopping mall and was catching up. That was when the main character found out that this Tolu lady had lost her job just 3 years into her career because of one thing that happened in the office. So that one basically felt like her career was cut short and had to go and start a company of her own. So she learned so many lessons and talked to her friend about these lessons. If you are the one in this same situation, it will be very important you take a thing or two from this, because Tolu's story made it was very relatable for anybody who works in like corporate environment. You are not your own business owner, so anything can happen to you, because her career was cut short 3 years into the career. You can imagine that. Like, where do you start from? This was all because she never knew that, you know, something like that can happen to her, and she never took advantage of the opportunities that were presented to her in her company. So it is very important that, you know, when you are in any place, let's say you are working in a corporate space, let's say you are working for somebody basically, it is important that all the opportunities in that company, you should take advantage of them, from the savings to the investment products available. It is very important to take advantage of it, not just, you know, taking advantage of the loans that you end up repaying. Even when you want to take the loans, at least use them for something productive that will end up bringing more money to you. So if you find yourself in this to lose shoe and now have to face a new reality of losing your job, at least you know you have something to fall back on. But if you never took advantage of the opportunities that, you know, were presented to you in your company, because you're only looking out for the loans, the big ones that will make you to, like, you know, start spending on things that will just give you instant gratification, you find that you don't even end up gaining anything from working in that company. So if it's to start saving, at least start saving small, or even at least when you are about to take loans, or maybe because the loans have lower interest compared to outside, use the loans to create, you know, another opportunity that will help you double that loan or even triple it. Because if you invest it, you are more likely to reap the benefit of investing that money or that loan you must have gotten. So try to always, you know, take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you in any place you're working in. Don't set your life up in a way that you end up, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. Instead of splurging on things that, you know, that feels like a great deal, buying, you know, clothes, shoes, wigs that you don't necessarily need at the moment, but because you feel you are getting a great deal for them, you end up buying them just because they look pretty, or you just want to prove that yes, you can afford them. So take advantage of the wealth creating options that are right in front of you that can help you get better returns on your investment. And remember, when you don't plan for money, money plans for you. So look into the opportunities you have around you today and take advantage of them. So in the third chapter of the book, the author talks about, you know, having 3 levels of security when it comes to managing rainy days. You know that rainy days when you are in need of cash. The first level is basically talking about, you know, the shower cap. The second level, the umbrella. And the third level, the boat. These are not things that you would think of on how to, you know, you're not liking them to how to make money, but it was very easy for me to understand. So in one way or the other, we're all guaranteed to have rainy days, right? But what is important is how much cover do you have for these rainy days? Because it will definitely come at one point or the other, and especially when it comes unawares, like how much cover do you think you have? So having yourself prepared for these levels of, you know, rainy days, depending on how much you are prepared, that will determine the level of security you have for these rainy days when it ends up coming your way. So for the first level, if you have a shower cap can only keep your hair dry, and this basically means that a shower cap can only protect one person. Let's say you have your savings, but your savings can only cover for you, and you have a family. This level of security is not what you want for yourself, especially when a rainy day comes and it comes unawares. So this level of security only leaves you vulnerable to the rain because you can only cover yourself and you can't cover for your family. So if your finances are a shower cap, you have limited protection, enough for just yourself and not enough for another person. But on the other hand, let's say you have an umbrella. An umbrella has better protection compared to a shower cap, but this also has limited, you know, protection, because you basically have to put in your physical effort, you know, by holding the umbrella for it to cover you. And an umbrella to some extent is much better than the shower cap because it can cover for up to 3 people. And this is about it. Even while covering for the 3 people, you can still be drenched by the rain, because that is still a lot for an umbrella to carry. So having the level of security that, you know, by having an umbrella does not guarantee you full protection, but at least it will take you to a better place compared to if you had a shower cap. And this depends on the intensity of the rain. So having an umbrella is much better than having a shower cap. But on the other hand, if you have a boat, like a boat can carry much more people, and this also depends on the size of the boat, but at least it can carry much more people than the first 2 levels of security that we talked about. And the author even went forward to use, like, you know, Noah's boat as an example, because, you know, it took him long to prepare, but at the end of the day, the boat was enough for him to carry both his family and, you know, everybody around him that were opportune to enter that boat. And since when you are preparing for a rainy day, sometimes you might even get a flood, it's better to be much more prepared than you are less prepared. So having a boat is one important way, or the best level of security that you can have for yourself, so that when a rainy day comes or when the flood comes, at least you can breeze through the rainy day, compared to if you don't have any level of security. This will help you, stay safe in whatever level of rain comes along your way. So in another chapter of the book, he talks about, knowing your place of instinct. Like, what are you good at? What is that place that you can be recognized as an authority? Like, this was quite interesting to me, and he even made a quote saying that it's not what you don't have that limits you, but what you have but don't know how to use. That resonated so much with me, because in so many areas of my life I found that even with the skills I have, sometimes not knowing how to put them to good use is something that limits you. So not necessarily that you don't have the skills, but you just don't know how to use them. So he laid down 2 steps to help you discover your place of instinct. The first step is to find out that place where you can easily dominate, like that place okay, with your skills you can easily dominate this place, something you are very good at. The second step is now where he talked about now establishing your authority in that place you can dominate. This resonated so much with me, because take myself for an example now. Like, I want to be known for finance management. In the future, anything surrounding finance, I want to be known as an authority in that place. Now it's just the starting phase, the learning phase, just bringing you the information I know. It might not be in the best way, but I'm honing my skills. This is the same thing. Like, what is your own place of instinct? Like, what is that thing that that you can be known for? So I'm working hard, just bringing you this knowledge, learning how to hone my conference skills, how to talk to people, and just looking into the camera and talking to you. These are some ways that I'm trying to groom myself, so that when they talk about finance management, who is an authority in this area, who is the king in this area, I can be called upon, because I've been able to hone my skill. And when you get to this point, people now recognize you as a solution provider, and now your name begins to stand for something. So over time, you now create a branding, or you now have a following that due to your track record, people have now recognized you for this particular thing, and now start making good money from it. Let's say now, apart from my my finance skills, or what I feel I know about finance and what I'm trying to know, like currently in my workplace, you find that whenever we need to do anything concerning videos, like they call upon me now, because I was able to do a good job one time that they called upon me, and I find it very interesting that they always think about me whenever they want to do anything concerning editing or videography and whatnot. And I'm so happy about that, because I'm becoming like a force to be reckoned with in that area, at least within my immediate environment. So at least people know me for these things. What can they know you for that you can take advantage of? Like he even said in some point, like if God gave it to you for free, you can take a fee for it. Like that is what it is. And some people like Oprah Winfrey that we know now, Richard Branson, Bill Gates, all these people use their place of instinct, created a structure around it, and started making money from it. You can take advantage of the opportunities around you, create a structure around it, and make a profit out of it. So knowing what your skills is, and establishing yourself in that area and trying to make a profit out of it is very good. All you need to do is package it or structure it in such a way that it will be of value to someone else. So at this point, it is very important for you to look inwards and discover that thing that comes very natural to you, and learn how to make a profit out of it. So you will agree with me that staying disciplined to a financial plan is not the easiest thing. Like, yes, every one of us understands that this is not a very easy thing, and it's a lot harder than we are made to understand. That having a financial plan and being disciplined is harder than they make us believe. And in the book, the author wrote up that one of the ways to take care of this problem is to name your money. And he used a quote by Miles Monroe to buttress this point, where he talked about when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. With this, so he was basically talking about naming your savings account. Let's say you have several savings accounts, but if you don't have a name to each of them, like what is this account for, what is that account for, you are more likely to abuse each of these accounts. You now turn it to like your current account rather than your savings account. And we all are very guilty of this, making our savings account look like a current account, because we keep dipping into it, because we don't have a name, or we don't have a specific role for that accounts for you to perform for you. Let's say you have children, you're supposed to save for school fees, but you don't have a specific account tied for your children's school fees. You find that you can easily use it to go for grocery shopping, you want to buy this, because you now feel like, okay, I will take care of the school fees later, you now dip into this account. But if you had a name for this account, or if you kept it for this particular purpose and decided, okay, this account is just for school fees, you are most likely not to want to dip into it, because you already have a goal for it, you have a name tied to that account. So that is the same thing the author is talking about in this part of the book. It is very important that you know what is this account tied to, and especially knowing the fact that it is said that the way you save when you are earning 100,000 is the same way you will learn how to better manage 1 million, because you have created a habit around your money. You have made your money to know that it is your servant rather than allowing it to be a master over you. So basically, true wealth is determined by not just how much you earn, but how much you keep. So having this in mind, we can both agree that the idea of naming money to achieve your goal makes it easier for us to be disciplined in our savings. So because even if you earn a good money, and if your take home money does not take you home, then you are basically like back to square zero, because it all circles back to, if you don't have a plan for money, money will plan for you. It is very easy for you to go back to where you started from, because no matter how much you earn, if you don't know how to keep a portion of it, if you don't know how to budget, it is very easy for you to lose track. And especially because money is a mindset. You see, like, the difference between a rich person and a poor person today is very easy for you to see, because a rich person would think about how you can put this money to good use to create more money. But you find a poor person, even when they earn money, you find that they easily go towards liabilities, while a rich person will more likely go towards having an asset for it to double that his income, and then overall use what he gains from that asset that he had invested in to now service his liability. But a poor person will dive right into buying liabilities instead of thinking like the rich will do, getting an asset before that your asset will now service your liabilities. This fact can be seen in the part of the Bible where it even said, like, as a man thinks, so he is. You now have to choose where you belong, whether you want to start putting all your money into liabilities, or you want to invest first and then allow your asset to now service your liabilities. So sometimes there are some things that can be considered both as an asset and as a liability. Let's say, take for example, now you buy a car. If you buy it for yourself, you are most likely going to have the need to service it, maintain it. So this is basically bringing money out of your pocket. You are taking money out of your pocket to service this. So that car is considered a liability. But on the other hand, let's say you buy a car and you put it on hire purchase, and you find that this is bringing money into your pocket. So when that asset brings money into your pocket, now you can use it to service your liabilities. So these are two scenarios that can help you understand if you're a poor person or a rich person, because the difference is in how they think about money and how they put it to use. So at the end of the day, like, there are so many other points you can learn from reading this book, and this book definitely made me to question everything I thought I knew about money. And because the book made it very easy for me to read, I was able to get all the points across, because like from the text font to the spacing, it made it very enjoyable for me to read, and I believe it will do the same for you. So just try and grab a copy of this book and try to read it. It is very insightful, and apart from the points I talked about in this video, there are so many other points you can learn from reading this book, and it is very important to read it for yourself to digest it. It goes in the form of a story while giving the points across. And at this point, I think I might chip it in, because I feel like authors need to emulate this particular book, in the sense that it was very easy for me to read, and it can make readers want to read it countless times. So these are some of the things I learned from this book that were very insightful, or that made me question everything I thought I knew about money, and I believe it should do the same for you too. So it is very important to try and read this book. So I'll see you guys in my next one. Please make sure to click that like button, subscribe, and join the family for more talks about finance, for more talks about our insecurities, and all that juicy stuff. Bye.